Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. So check it out guys, parts. So if you watched my last vlog, I was telling you that I was going to build a PC. And people were like, oh my God, why is he building a PC? He's been an Apple guy literally since an Apple II Plus, right? Well, if any of you guys are photographers or videographers, you know that the amount of processing power that's required today is like exponential to how it's been like in the last year or so. You know, we went from 1080p, now we're at 4K. Literally, some of you folks that are watching this maybe months down the road, we're at 8K already, okay? So it's just, it requires a lot more processing. And even on the photo side, you know, we're at 30 megapixels, 50 megapixels. Some cameras are now 100 megapixels, right? So we need a lot of power. And as of late, Apple has just not been able to provide it. They just have not been servicing the pros very well. And then when they put out machines, a lot of the machines are a year or two old, the parts that are in there. So yes, I know why they do it. They do it from compatibility issues and a lot of other stuff, but you know, we just can't do it these days. We just can't. We need power, and we need also cost-effective power. So I was looking at an Mac Pro machine, the coffee can, right? And what I found was for the machine that I need to build, it was gonna be like 5 grand, 6 grand. I'm like, that's just crazy. It just doesn't make sense when I can build it a lot cheaper, right, on a PC side. So am I gonna ditch all of my iMacs as of tomorrow? Probably not, but I'm gonna give this a fair shake. So what I wanna do today is show you the parts that I picked up and kind of tell you why I picked them up. So to start out with, I got the Corsair 400C. And the reason I got this case, number one, it's beautiful, right? It's got this beautiful white to it, which I am gonna try to make like a black and white machine. I think it'll look cool. But what I also like is these magnetic filtration panels on it. This is just awesome. This is really, really good. If any of you guys have PCs right now, you know that these things end up being like vacuums, right? They just suck in all the debris, all the dust, all the hair, all the lint, everything from the entire room. And the next thing you know, you look inside and the whole thing is just caked up, right? So all this filtration I think is really, really great. Also, I like that it has this clear side panel to it. So all of these beautiful parts that are in there will be able to see it, and possibly even put like an LED system in it, you know, so you can kind of see what's going on, maybe an RGB system. Also, I like the easy access. Check that out, guys, right? So instead of having all these, you know, bolts and little screws to go and take this thing apart, everything is just snap on. Look at that. I love this. This is really cool. So the case is really nice. We're gonna give it a shot. It is a mid-tower case. I like the size. I've built full towers in the past and used them for like file servers and just put in a ton of drives. But mid-tower I think is a good size because it has enough ventilation to keep it cool, but it's not too overly big also. So we'll see. This looks good. So next we have the motherboard. The motherboard is the Asus Prime X370 Pro. Now, this is one of those motherboards that isn't too expensive, but it's right on the line that it does a great job at overclocking, because we are going to be overclocking the CPU. Also, it has all the whistles and bells, USB 3.1, all the rest of the stuff. And it has this Aurora Sync technology built into it. So if we end up putting in a light kit, right? Let's say an RGB LED kit in here to make it all bright and pretty, let's say, we'll be able to control it right from the motherboard. So this is really kind of cool. I like it. I want to make this kind of fun, okay? Not only is this going to be a workstation to process quickly and hopefully cost effectively, but I want to kind of make it fun too. Maybe we'll actually play a couple of games or something with it that we haven't done in the past at night, you know, when we're not doing anything and all the work is done. But we'll see. Next, what's going to go on the motherboard is the AMD Ryzen 7. Now, I ended up getting the 1700. Okay, the reason being is the 1700 has the heatsink. I think it's a Spire, I believe, heatsink and fan that comes with it. So there's no additional cost. So we're going to air cool this system. I'm going to overclock it as much as I can with keeping still the noise levels down and the heat down also. If it gets too hot, I might go water cooled with it. You know, a liquid cooled system, I'll be able to overclock a little bit more. But for right now, I'm going to do it on a budget. I want to see what we can get out of it without spending a lot. Because a lot of you guys have asked, what kind of gear are you gonna use? And is it gonna be cost effective? How much is it gonna be? I don't have a lot of money, you know? So I can go and spend $5 grand on it like I would on an Apple, but I'm trying to keep it under $2,000, guys. Because if I can do this and create something that's under $2 grand and literally hit the same type of marks that I would with a $5 grand system, we've won. All of us have won. Next, power. I ended up going with the EVGA 750. It's a gold. Now, the reason I went with 750 watts compared to like probably 450, 550 would have been enough for what I have here for future proofing, okay? In case I want to SLI and put two graphic cards together, we need the extra power, then I won't have to go and buy another power supply after the fact. So next is the video board. I ended up going with the Armor MSI. It's a GTX 1070. Now, some of you guys are gonna be like, well, why did you go with the 1070, not the 1080? Well, once again, cost efficient, right? Cost effectiveness. The 1070 should do everything that we need it to do. We're not playing games with it. And also it's a little bit faster than, for example, the AMD's 580 that just came out. And it's just a little bit more expensive, maybe $80, $90 or so. So I went with this, we'll see how it goes. Once again, it's the GTX 1070. Like I said, we could also buy another one of these down the road if we wanted to, an SLI, and put them both together and get even more power out of it. But I don't think we're gonna need it, guys. I think this is going to be enough. Next, as far as hard drives, I decided to go with no hard drives. Now, normally you see everyone has like a ton of these in there, right? And they're spinning and they're just loud and there's heat involved. I decided not to do this. No spinning parts, so to speak, besides the fans. I ended up going with right here, this Crucial. This is the M2. This is a Crucial 275 gigabyte stick. Now, this is basically going to be my entire OS, as well as all applications are going to go onto this. And this makes it a lot easier. Now in the past, you know, I've used a full terabyte drive and then I partitioned it off and I used a certain partition for the boot. It ends up being just kludgy, all right? Picking up a smaller drive to put all of your apps and your OS on it gives you the ability to do a full backup of this drive on, let's say, a 1 terabyte. You could literally make like 2 or 3 backups of this if you wanted to, images. And in case of a virus or in case of some kind of problem, you could always go back to a later date. It just makes it easier, let's just say. So this will be the OS as well as the applications. Next is the Samsung SSD. This is a 850 Evo, really good drive. This is a 500 gigabyte drive. It is the SSD. Once again, no moving parts, no heat. But that 500 gigabytes is going to be my working drive. That's where I'm going to be doing all the video production on, all the stuff that I'm crunching. Okay, so I can actually move stuff in it. And then once I'm done with it, maybe leave it there for a month, just in case anything else needs to be done with it, and then move it off. Like I said, instead of piling up hard drives in here, I might build a NAS or maybe get a Drobo or maybe like a G-RAID drive or something like that and push all of this content off the computer itself, right? Keep this lean and mean and cool. So next comes memory. I ended up going with the Corsair Vengeance LPX. This is 3000 megahertz RAM. Now, I ended up going with 2 modules that are 16 gig apiece. Why did I do that? The reason I did that is because this machine or this motherboard will be able to take a maximum of 64 gigabytes. That allows me to put 2 16 giggers in there, right? Gives me 32 gigs. And if I want to go to 64 gigs in the future, I can just buy 2 more of these and now populate the entire board and have 64 gigabytes. If I would have went with 4 8 gig modules, I would have ended up maxing out the capacity with only those 32 gigs and then later having to take those out and then buy new. Once again, it's future-proofing. I want to do this right for myself, but also for you guys. So if you want to build something like this, you can, and it will give you a nice long 3, 4, 5 years worth of use, right? Finally, over on this side, we have our thermal paste, which will go onto here. I don't like the paste that usually the companies give you. I like a better paste. This is the Arctic. I hear this is some pretty good stuff. We're gonna go ahead and use that. So that's really about it. That's all of the pieces to the puzzle. Once again, am I moving from Mac to PC right now? The answer is no. But it could be a possibility. Once I build this, like I said, I'm gonna give it a fair shake. I'm gonna do testing with it. I'm gonna do exporting. I'm gonna do crunching. And I'm gonna squeeze it. I'm gonna twist it. And I'm gonna put it through its paces. And I'm gonna show you guys what I end up getting out of it. And if it works out great, well, I'm sorry, Apple, but I'm gonna be gone, right? So we'll see what ends up happening. And like I said in the last video, who knows, maybe Apple will get their stuff together, so to speak, to be nice about it and end up giving us something fantastic in the next 3 or 4 months, who knows? I really don't know. But as of right now, this will, I think, be a solid build for us. Now, as far as the price, this is going to be under $2,000, probably right around $1,800 or something like that. I'm gonna give you a list of all of the parts and how much they are. So what I want to know is, what do you guys think? What do you think about the move? What do you think about the parts? Are you guys on the fence also right now? Are you using an Apple and possibly wanting to go PC? Or are you using a PC and you just absolutely love it, or you hate it? You know, what do you guys think? Put the comments in the comment area below. I answer all of them, and I want to have this journey, right, with you guys. And if you have any questions as I take these steps, in the next video, I'm going to be now building it. Who knows, maybe I'll bring my son in and he can help me. Maybe I'll do a time lapse or something and build it and talk to you about it and how it ends up going. But if you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask. I answer all of the questions. If you like this content, as always, give me a thumbs up and please share it with your friends and family, photographers, or anyone else that you know that might like the content. Also subscribe so you get all of my craziness when it comes out. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find a lot of photography tools that I've invented for photographers just like you. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. We'll see you in the next one.